Hi, I'm Todd Rule, and I am basically Torq-O. We have a film project here where we're putting together a lot of vintage AMC films from the 1970s, and I thought I would just go through the process about how we put these films together, how we transfer them to tape, and the process that we go through to color correct them and to make them beautiful so that the images look great for you and you don't have to go through all this work yourself. So, here's how we do what we do. First of all, in order to work with the film transfer equipment that we have, we transfer all these films from reels that you use on a projector. Okay, this is how you're used to seeing film, onto cores. Okay, which are little plastic centers with large holes that the professional projection equipment uses, and that's the first step. The first thing we do is put the film up on the reel here and wind it onto a core. Now, Kevin, whom you're going to meet in a few minutes in this video, gave me these film cranks. These are vintage film cranks used, by film editors, and my dad mounted them to a board, as you can see here. And I know it's crude, but it's really effective because this is what we use to get the film from one format reel to another, the core. So the first thing we do is put the film on one side. This is a core right here. They can be really small or really large, like what our leader film is on here. So we're going to use a small one, and we put it onto our core adapter on the other spindle on our take-up reel, and we thread it up on our core. Very simple, and we wind. I keep my hand in place just to make sure the tension is tight on the reel, and then I'll wind this 400 feet of film onto this core, this open core, until I'm done. Very simple. The process can be a little tedious, but when you're paying $200 an hour, you want to make sure everything is ready for the editor, so that you can save time when you get into the session and not do any prep work. You're doing all that prep work here on your own time. This film has basically not been off the reel since it was wound onto the reel originally in January 1975. So 31 years ago. And here it is. Freshly wound onto a core. Got to do a little bookkeeping here because all these films are on separate cores, and there's going to be about 10 or 11 cores. So I just have to keep everything straight so that when I wind them back onto these reels here, they all go back onto the same reel and they all end up in the same place, so that my friends in Europe who entrusted me with some of these films will get the exact same films and the exact same reels back. So just a little bit of bookkeeping to make sure that happens and that goes smoothly. One of the things that we do differently from everybody else is we transfer these films. Since we're paying a lot of money to do it, we transfer these films onto broadcast quality Betacam SP tapes. Not a lot of other folks who offer these kinds of films for sale do it that professionally, but these give us good quality masters, so if we need to go back to the original material, it'll look fresh, new, and great, and this is the kind of stuff that TV stations use. Alright, so we've got our masters ready to go. We have our films ready to go. These are just a few of them, the rest of them are in the bag. And slip them in there. And now it's time to go see Kevin, who will supervise our film to tape transfer. I could have had these films transferred through the local camera store, but they don't have the kind of equipment that can make the films look better than they actually are. That's where Kevin Mark can help. He has the kind of high-end gear that documentary and TV commercial producers use to transfer their film to digital images.
Is replaced this green light in here is a tube and it's a Brimar tube from Rank, and that's $10,000. It's replaced once a year. This gate here is a $25,000 option. This whole system, if bought brand new, at the time when it was brand new, is $500,000.
It's called a telecine, and what makes it so expensive is the extreme high quality of the lens. After Kevin threads the film through the telecine, he sits down at the console to work on the image. He can adjust all of the colors in an image or just a few. If the sky in the film is yellow, he can make it blue. If the film is faded to red with age, he can often restore it to its original colors. Kevin adjusts one scene at a time, but if you have the money, he can adjust them all. When he's finished, he records the entire film onto tape, and a few hours later, we're done. So, thank you, Kevin Mark. I really appreciate it. This is the final step. We've got the last of the films on the master, and now we're moving on to the next step in the production process, which is logging and slating the tape. Boring, but necessary. Okay, here we go. The last step in the process is to put slates on our Beta SP Masters so that somebody who's watching these tapes down the line can tell what content is coming up next. So we're laying the slates down right now, and after that we'll dub these tapes down to mini DV so that we can view them ourselves, and then we'll make the DVD that you're watching right now. And that's the Torq-O process: film to tape, tape to DVD, DVD to you. Take it for a test spin. Isn't this the way all vintage car films should look?